and thanks for watching the Thursday show.
Hello, welcome to the Friday show. Thanks for tuning in. And we take a little look back at the week. First was Wii Fit, which sold 1 million units in Japan. Now, was this really a surprise to anybody?
No, because you can sell anything with the word Wii in front of it. Though I do wonder, it is so unique and something people have with the game. Will it sell that quickly, that well in America?
Well, you hear all this anecdotal evidence about, oh, everybody in the nursing homes playing the Wii tennis, and it's caught on with moms, and you just wonder how anecdotal that is, and how much these moms are going to think that Wii Fit is a good idea, and the retirement home, they'll think the Wii Fit is a good idea, because something tells me that they'll probably think it's kind of a good idea.
Well, I guess the only thing is that the exercise component of the Wii Fit, as we currently see it, is not very Western, where it's very aerobic and you're doing a lot of movement. It's much more Eastern, where it's a lot of balancing, like Tai Chi. And I don't know if people understand that, and if they're ready to take on a much different approach to keeping themselves healthy and fit.
Yes, well, stepping up and down onto a 1-inch platform really doesn't necessarily get your blood pumping, but those, you know, the balance move, at first you're like, oh, it's easy. And then you're like, I'm getting really tired right now.
Yeah, I don't
think I can do this anymore.
Anyhow.
We hope you enjoy the show.
Yes.
Where a child thrill seeker finds exactly what he was looking for.
Derek should have had when he was 8.
Wow. No. What is it when, like, they just put him on the knee and play horsey? That must be, like, really exciting.
I think that kid's a little bit over his head.
I would say so. I mean, he's dropping, like, 2 feet at a time, screaming like a maniac.
His friend could take it, though. His friend was stone cold. It's hardcore.
Yeah, it was the terror. It was the terror.
In at number 4 today is our first video from Japan where a 14-year-old girl is about to completely school you in the fine art of jump roping.
On what appears to be one of Japan's ancient traditional insane game show sets, this young athlete enters a deeply religious trance for our amusement.
Trojan Star!
It's 188 jumps, so basically she sucked.
Yeah, that's nothing. I could do that easy.
Yeah?
All right, here we go. No, not really.
Are you gonna wear that for the rest of the show?
Maybe someone can get me some clothes.
Okay.
Today's number 3 video is one of the main reasons we love Japan.
Here in America, we're not even allowed to show you a lady's ankle on television on account of our nation being founded by Puritan whack jobs and all.
But in Japan, they can televise actual honest-to-goodness fetishes on television, like this next clip. All you have to do is make sure a costume character is involved, which technically qualifies it as 3 additional kinds of fetishes.
さゆりの元気で花粉なんて吹っ飛ばしてやる CCC パラパッパー C パラパラパラ CCC パラパラ一緒にお昼寝したいねやる気のロッキー活気づいてベッキーとブッキーがガッキーとシャッキーとポッキーを
chocolate.
They're just so compliant. Like, oh, this is the part where I stick my tongue out and do that. I mean, where's your dignity? All right. You should be thankful we don't live in Japan. We'd eventually end up on that show.
Probably right.
Yeah.
Now, I need a break from Far Eastern fetishes. Do you have anything on the show that will make me fear Americans instead of the Japanese?
Of course. Today's number 2 is a commercial from the best little furniture shop in New Orleans, Frankie and Johnny's. If you buy from them, they'll even throw in a free gift.
Wow.
I say, this must be Frankie and Johnny at St. Claude and Franklin.
Let them have it with no problem.
I need some cut it now.
You come to the right store, baby. See the special man. Let them have it.
Yeah, you're right.
I say. Who say I say? Frankie say I say. So when all the other stores says no, Frankie says yes. See the special man. Let them have it with no problem.
I got the credit.
I say. When you buy from me, you get chicken box free. Tastes like mama.
I don't know if I trust fried chicken from a furniture store.
Well, I don't know. I certainly wouldn't refuse it.
I sort of learn something new and horrible about you every time we do a show.
Well, it's the learning thing. And finally, today's number 1 item on Around the Net takes us back to the land of the rising sun.
Oh, no.
Oh, yes. Japan, like all modern Western nations, has an insatiable bloodlust.
But luckily they found a way to indulge that bloodlust without actually harming anyone or unleashing genetically modified superwomen like the new American gladiators. Witness JapaneseBugfights.com, the only place you get to see all the wild insect mashups you have been fantasizing about.
Lady fights! Winner, トカラノコギリ、両勝ち。甲虫軍2勝。
I think one thing you should appreciate, kids are really into this. Pretty much Pokemon has come full circle. It's real life, monsters,
Real life
catch 'em all.
Pokemon.
So we need to also address the
Yes.
fact that you then have been fantasizing about a life and death matchup between a scorpion and a Goliath beetle.
Kind of all my life. Or at least since I heard about this website. So that's what Japan's good for. Now to get your daily viral fix, make sure to head on over to g4tv.com/aroundthenet. There you can also sign up for the Around the Net podcast. It knows your secrets, so you really should just sign up for it now before it tells everyone.
You're kind of weird. Right now, for the only news you need to know, here's Layla Kaylee and the feed headlines.
Thanks, guys. Here's what's coming up in the feed. First, Radiohead's In Rainbows has hit the US charts this week. We'll tell you if offering the album online hurt them or helped them. Plus, Red Sox pitcher Kurt Schilling is trading in his balls next year to develop MMOs. And 10 years after its release, Fight Club, the film that was begging to be made into a musical, is finally going to hit Broadway theaters. It's all coming your way in just a few minutes, but first, back to you guys.
All right, Kevin and Olivia are back on Monday, so Morgan and I are going to squeeze every last bit of quality out of the show. You don't want to miss it. Here's what's coming up on today's Attack of the Show. Zach Helman's talking to local Hong Kong experts about the martial arts action movies that put this city on the cinematic map. And the writer's strike could crush Comic-Con. And American Gladiators is a smash with audiences in the loop. We can review. Push through the pain. It'll be worth it when the attack comes back.
And only on G4.
Well, we are live and leaving threatening notes for Kevin and Olivia to find when they get back.
Notes? I just planted a bunch of proximity mines in the dressing room.
Yes, I know. That's what my note said.
Well, that's fair. Ill-advised or not, it's time to hand over the reins of the show to you for User Created.
For this current user-created challenge, we want your TV show pitches.
If you've ever watched the major networks' primetime offerings and shuddered, now is your chance to come up with a real show. You can shoot a sitcom, a documentary series, a cop drama with a cool acronym in its title. Just make sure to only use the provided music at Zydio.com when adding tunes to your masterpiece. Or if you create your own music, if you're a maestro, make sure to let us know in the credits so we don't exact our ban hammer in haste.
We've been getting your submissions for over a week now, and we've gotten some good ones. But this competition is still very much up for grabs, which means that several amazing prizes could still be yours.
Yes, prizes like the big reveal, The Simpsons movie, now available on DVD.
And this 8-megapixel Canon PowerShot digital camera.
Wait, yours is better than mine.
I can take a picture of the DVD.
You will become eligible for User Created's amazing grand prize, which is a 58-inch Samsung Plasma. This made with a quad panel, 1080p, has a contrast ratio of 15,000 to 1, and in case you don't know what that means, it's like gazing into the very face of God. Seriously.
Way to take the fun out of the TV. So, get going. This weekend is your last chance to submit your TV pilots. Go to Zydio.com/usercreated for the full rules and details.
In the meantime, let's check in with Layla, who's got all the news you need to know.
Thanks, guys. It's time to start the feed.
Intended here in Hollywood.
The Feed with Layla Kaylee.
The physical version of Radiohead's new album, In Rainbows, is the #1 album in the United States, Britain, Canada, France, Japan, and Ireland, with over 130,000 copies sold in the States. Late last year, Radiohead let users download this album from their website for any amount of money they wish to pay. While In Rainbows debuted at #1, it still sold almost 170,000 fewer units than their last album, Hail to the Thief, which debuted at #3 on the charts. Star pitcher Kurt Schilling has said he's only going to play one more year of baseball and then fully dedicate his time to his own gaming company and the development of a still unnamed mystery, massively multiplayer role-playing game that goes by the working title Copernicus. Schilling's gaming company is called 38 Studios and was founded in late 2006. 38 Studios is aiming to reach into all forms of entertainment, including film, TV, books, comics, and action figures. The company's first game, Copernicus, is scheduled for release in 2010. Good news about the upcoming video game Smash Bros. Brawl for the Nintendo Wii. You'll now be able to play as Pikmin or Captain Olimar, and the fighting game will feature the single-player multi-man mode popularized by Smash Bros. Melee back in 2001. The new multi-man mode allows players to engage in a long single-player battle against a new fighting alloy team. But most importantly, this new mode will have two-player online co-op, allowing lowly Smash Bros. Fans to fight robots with an online companion. It puts the lotion on the polymer, or it gets the hose again. Pentagon-backed researchers are close to creating a type of skin for use on artificial limbs. This is very creepy. The skin will provide direct feedback to the brain, is made of a rubbery polymer called polyamide, and is infused with carbon nanotubes. The skin could be ready for inclusion in artificial limbs as early as 2010. And finally, director David Fincher says he wants to do a truly theatrical interpretation of his classic 1999 film, Fight Club. That's right, Fight Club could be the next big hit musical on Broadway. Author Chuck Palahniuk has agreed to the project, and Nine Inch Nails frontman Trent Reznor has expressed interest in developing the music. Fight Club the musical will be on the Great White Way in 2009, but marketing might be a problem since we're assuming the first rule of Fight Club the musical is you don't talk about Fight Club the musical. Well, that's it for today, but don't worry, the feed doesn't stop here. Get all the news you need to know anytime at G4TV.com. I'm Layla Kaylee, and you've just been fed.
So it's Friday, and you know what that means.
What's that mean?
It's time to get drunk on cheap wine and sit around playing flash games in your underwear with strangers from all over the world.
I'm gonna have to tell you to speak for yourself, but then I do need something to keep me busy next week in the office. I mean, what do they want me to work or something? Why don't we share some of our favorites with the viewers who might not have as much free time to look for all these gems?
Okay, now one of the most popular flash games around the G4 headquarters is Desktop Tower Defense, which launched last year and was played over, get this, 15 million times in its first 5 months online. In this game, which will soon be coming to the PS3, really the PlayStation Network, your mission is to stop your enemies, or creeps as they are known, from reaching a set point in the playing field. You build and upgrade towers to try to take down these creeps before they reach their objective.
It's actually really, really, really fun. Okay, sorry, I'm paying attention. Who, what? Who, what are you
All right, okay. What's this next one we have?
Next up, we have Dice Wars. It's an addicting flash game any fan of Risk will enjoy and be able to pick up immediately. Now, it's simply a matter of moving your armies into opposing regions on the map and then rolling the dice to obliterate your opponents. It's kind of like Solitaire on Minesweeper on Windows. The addictive factor of this game comes from how easy it is to jump into a new game. Because, you know, you can be this player and then you sort of just attack the guys next to you. Did I play this one?
It can be very dangerous, though, if you try to actually correspond these shapes with actual countries. I mean, that's kind of like the Florida right there. That's the panhandle. But that's about it. Well, that's one of those Midwest states, like Nebraska, probably. It's just a shape.
You must not have done very well in geography, did you?
I didn't do very well, period.
Okay.
All right. And finally, for those of you who want a little more blood and gore than you'll get from your average six-sided die, yes! Go violence! I love you! The Last Stand, where your goal is to prevent a nearly unstoppable horde of zombies from breaking down your barricade. This promising first flash game from con artists is set across 20 days and nights. And when you're not blasting zombie brains, you have to venture out of your shelter to search for weapons, make repairs, and locate other survivors to help you. So
basically, I'm behind this little barricade right there, and I'm just going to take my knife and I'm just going to try and shoot him in the head. I mean, is that so wrong with me? And then
that's what you do.
They're going to actually break down the barricade as time goes on. Oh, reload. Crap, that lost me some time. And then there's strategy, a little bit of strategy involved because at the end of it,
the strategy is kind of shoot the zombie.
No. Like during the daytime, you have some respite, so you can choose to either like look for survivors to help you, upgrade your weapons, repair your barricade. It's a very strategic game. That is it for our roundup.
It's like Space Invaders with scavenging.
You need to make sure you take your ginkgo because this one's going to really challenge you. Make sure when you're playing these flash games at work, you always keep an Excel spreadsheet minimized so you can pull it up if your boss walks by. But you know that. It's made me the hard worker I am today.
Yes, I'm so impressive. And now it's time for a different type of flashing. Oh, I'm rich. Coming this Sunday, G4's got the adult world unzipped as we take you deep inside the 2008 Adult Entertainment Expo in Las Vegas. AEE is the largest convention of its kind, fulfilling all your adult fantasies.
Catch the highlights of this year's show in this 2-hour exclusive TV event as we interview adult filmmakers, industry executives, and of course, the stars. We would not want them to feel left out. That would be wrong. This is your chance to be there without the risk of actually having to admit it. Catch all the action this Sunday night at 10 only on G4 and check out g4tv.com/AEE for info and updates.
All right, now don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. And if we're not, probably just something sad. Hong Kong is home to the best action movies in the world, and Zach's chatting with some local experts about their absolute favorites. Plus, the Blackjack 2 has some super sleek upgrades, but is it a worthy successor to the Blackjack name? Find out on Gadget Prawn.
If he needed to.
Yeah, and I could win both sides. Now, the Wii Fit, it isn't just for fatties. American Gladiators lives to fight another day. And game companies are getting pouty with EGM, and the WGA, it might kill Comic-Con. It's like the New Republic, except you'll actually pay attention. It's The Loop Week in Review. All right, my guest tonight in New York, staff writer for CNET.com, Carolyn McCarthy. In Los Angeles, editor for Chud.com, Devin Faraci. And also in Los Angeles, senior video games editor for Penthouse Magazine, Rebecca Swanner.
Hey.
Thanks to all of you for showing up to discuss many things that have been happening this week. But let's start with the Wii Fit. We haven't heard that much from Nintendo, but you know they have the Wii Fit out in Japan, and it's already sold 1 million units. Now, Rebecca, did we expect this much success this quickly?
Sure, why not? I mean, if fake puppies and brain-boosting games are all the rage, why not a game that helps keep you in shape? Plus, it sure beats going, and upsetting your neighbors with a loud DDR, bouncing on their ceiling, or going to one of those super loud arcades where you can't even think.
Now, Carolyn, obviously it does very well in Japan, but it's easy in some ways to do very, very well in Japan. Do you think this is going to work as well here in the States?
Well, what you've got to keep in mind is that the original Wii Sports, which is really what took off the Wii workout craze, or what made the Wii workout craze take off, that was not marketed as a weight loss solution or a fitness solution. People just kind of realized that you could get a workout that way. I don't really know if they're going to accept something that is intended as a workout quite as willingly. I think that there may be a little bit of an embarrassment factor, may bring back a little, some bad memories of the 80s step aerobics craze, that kind of thing. But I mean, if American Gladiators is any indication, people are willing to embrace that 80s embarrassment.
Or suffer from nostalgia. Also, I think the question is it Wii or Fit that's really getting people to go out there and buy it?
Well, I think that if people are willing to go out there and spend a lot of money on Taibo, they're probably going to be willing to spend some money on the Wii, so why not?
I always forget people actually spend money on Taibo, and part of me just kind of quietly dies inside. All right,
so does Billy Blanks.
All right, we're going to move on to the fact that NBC returned to some of its 90s roots this week with their remaking of the popular sports franchise American Gladiators. Now, Devin, is this just here only because we have the writer's strike and they need to get something new and fresh out there to combat all of these reruns they're having to put on the air?
Yeah, you're going to see a lot of garbage like this in the coming year. I mean, it's going to be just like trash on your television. And the really sad thing is that people are going to watch it. And so I think the networks are kind of psyched because they don't have to pay big money anymore to have actors and writers and stuff. They can just put anybody who wants to be on television on TV getting embarrassed, and there you have it.
Well, what you've got to keep in mind is the fact that I like to think that American Gladiators is the televised equivalent of a Chuck Norris joke. It's got this nostalgia factor, it's kind of cool, it's kind of insidery at first, but then by the 40th time you hear Chuck Norris does not sleep, he waits, you are really freaking sick of it. And I think people are going to get tired of American Gladiators Redux pretty soon.
I don't know. I nearly fell off the couch Sunday night watching it. I mean, it's better than Super Nanny.
Yeah, it is better than Super Nanny, I'll give you that.
People like to see people getting hurt, so I think American Gladiators offers us that kind of ouch, you kick me in my balls aspect that America demands in entertainment.
I think they've got to bring in some live alligators. I want to see live alligators, and then I'll watch it.
I would tune in for that. I think we're very close to seeing Running Man actually becoming reality thanks to the strike. We're going to have Arnold Schwarzenegger being chased down by Sub-Zero on our televisions on a weekly basis, and I would also tune into that, and I could probably win it as well.
I think you're right. Now, I think it's also worth noting that NBC is also bringing back Knight Rider. Are we seeing them relying a little bit too much on nostalgia, almost the same way that Hollywood has with bad television shows for the past 15 years? Devin, do you think this is like a new trend?
I think nostalgia is not a new trend. Nostalgia is we've been seeing things coming back for years. Everything from music to movies. Remakes are the big thing in movies. I think it's just sort of, it makes sense that it would finally hit the TV world as well. And remember, the last time we had a writer's strike in Hollywood, they went back to old TV scripts and started just shooting old scripts. And who knows? Maybe we can have that kind of ultimate remake on television now.
I agree with Devin. I mean, we can't seem to get away from nostalgia. We have all these rock reunions that keep happening. I mean, who thought that the Sex Pistols would return?
Yeah, or Led Zeppelin for that matter. Now, moving on to something that has definitely been interesting to me this week is an article that was written in Electronic Gaming Monthly's magazine. It was a column by Dan Shu, the editor-in-chief, where he named 3 companies that no longer want to actually cooperate with the magazine because of reviews they've given their games in the past. Obviously, people knew this kind of happened out there, but he actually did name names. Rebecca, I mean, is this going to feed suspicion that's already been out there since kind of the Gertzman fiasco over at CNET?
I don't know. I mean, I think that companies probably shouldn't be doing this. I think that it's probably a bad move on the companies that did do this. But I don't know if they're going to really say, someone else gives them a bad review. I don't think they're just going to start pulling from them because that leaves them open. That leaves a space for other publishers to come in and other publishers to have their games reviewed and get more attention. And these companies, they don't make bad games overall. It's just a few mediocre, and terrible games that they put out that EGM blasted them for. And I think that, I think we need more honest reviews out there if these games are going to be $60 a piece.
I think absolutely that's true. I think that also there's the fact that the publishers absolutely don't care as much about print reviews as they did 4 or 5 years ago. I think that they're okay with not being an EGM because they've got Joystick, they've got Kotaku, they've got 1UP, they've got GameSpot. there are so many people who are using exclusively online reviews that I don't think they are taking the print reviews quite as seriously as they were, and I think you do have to keep that in mind.
And I think they might be learning something from the movie industry, because we've seen over the last couple of years that studios have just stopped screening certain movies that they know are stinkers. And so as a result, the critics don't get to see these stinkers in advance. They open without any reviews, and they end up opening big because they're relying on the advertising only. The problem is that, instead of actually making good movies, the studios feel they can keep making crummy movies and still open them, and that could be the same thing that begins happening with the game world, because if you don't need the reviews, then who cares how good it is?
Right,
Unfortunately,
the only problem
yes.
is word of mouth hits, and then they're done.
All right, guys. Well, thank you very much for this very engaging discussion. I would like to thank Caroline, Devin, and Rebecca for keeping us in the loop.
Thank you.
All right, now let's head this back over to Morgan.
We're embracing our love of Eastern culture today and squeezing it as tight as we can until it squeaks. Your love is hurting me. Here's another visual postcard from Zach in Hong Kong, who talked to 2 Asian cinema experts to find out what it's like in the Hong Kong film scene.
When it comes to Hong Kong, you can't help but think of their awesome action movies. From Bruce Lee to Jackie Chan, it all comes down to one thing: kicking ass. What is it about the culture here that inspires such interesting kind of filmmaking and experimental filmmaking as well?
I think a lot of it is just the culture. It's really an international city. Things are very fast moving here. Films are made so quickly. Stuff is done on the fly.
You almost feel like you want to have a kung fu fight break out with guys in tank tops and nunchuck. A throwdown may happen at any moment, at any time.
Bruce Lee made martial arts filmmaking popular all over the world. Hong Kong was always popular, but in the West, he was really a lot of people's first exposure. Really hit the mainstream.
Actually, a lot of people are under the mistaken idea that the first guy to break in America was Bruce Lee. In fact, it was not. It was a guy called Law Lee. Warner Brothers brought up an old movie from here called King Boxer, and they retitled it for America, Five Fingers of Death. And suddenly Kung Fu was in, and then Bruce Lee was right behind that, and really was the big phenomenon. So after Bruce Lee, it was like you could not have another Bruce Lee. He was unique. So you had to have like the anti-Bruce Lee. And where Bruce Lee was the invincible superhero, Jackie Chan, he was the underdog. He was the kung fu comedy thing.
What about wire fu?
Wire fu helps them do things they cannot normally do. They can kick 5 guys in the air at once. They can stay up there. Jet Li uses wire fu. He doesn't need it so much to do action. A lot of other people need it for action. Stuff that happens in the West. Charlie's Angels, Matrix, wire fu, all over the place.
What's your favorite all-time Hong Kong film?
And I would argue probably the last great Hong Kong action movie was Jet Li's Fist of Legend, mid-90s.
Actually, Peking Opera Blues, 1986, Choi Hark.
Now I think it's a move towards more realism in martial arts action, and I think that now the challenge has been to kind of really bring East and West together, but with hopefully American discipline of the script and the wild and wacky Asian action brought together.
Who knows what's next for Hong Kong action cinema, but one thing's for certain, it ain't going anywhere anytime soon.
I would like to star in a Hong Kong kung fu action movie. I would even do my own stunts. Maybe. In the meantime, while I'm waiting for Hong Kong to give me a little ring, I'll continue getting my kicks here. It's time to attack this. First up, let's check out the wireless Wii Nunchuck from Nyko. Having recently debuted the kit at CES, the company hopes to start shipping these within the next few months. It employs 2.4 gigahertz spectrum to communicate with the receiver module, and power buttons on both the receiver and the Nunchuck turn the connection on and off. The Nunchuck is a bit heavier than the standard one, but it'll help you get a better workout. Next up is the Sansa Clip 4-gig MP3 player. Now, Apple will probably announce an updated version of the Shuffle at Macworld this year, but no matter what, the Sansa Clip is going to give it a run for its money. It has 4 times the capacity of the existing Shuffle, features a rechargeable battery that has 15 hours of playtime, and has an OLED display that allows you to select songs and not be at the mercy of the Shuffle. It also has a flashy mirrored finish. Don't worry, Apple, a little competition is good. Next up, we have the Nice Rack Beer Pong system. Beer pong has long been plagued by spillage, and warm beer. But the Nights Rack hopes to eliminate these issues by not only giving you a stable platform to house your beers, but also a cold place to put them. Simply fill the holder up with water and toss it in the freezer to keep your cheap yellow beer frosty while you try to focus on the cup in the middle. And finally, we have the Iron Key USB drive. Security and privacy on your portable storage devices are becoming more of an issue. That is why the US government has been using the 4GB Iron Key, which is now available to the masses. The device keeps your data scrambled, and if somebody attempts to physically or virtually break into it, the encryption chip inside of it will self-destruct. Awesome, making the contents unreadable. You'd better remember your password, though. 10 failed attempts, and the same thing happens. As we start carrying around more sensitive information and dirty photographs, protecting your data from slipping into the wrong hands has never been more paramount. Head on over to g4tv.com/AOTS for info on all of these new releases and more. Now, we're going to be back after this, but we can't promise you it'll be the same.
We're giving you an exclusive behind-the-scenes look at the set of Moonlight to find out how the show's vampire star satisfies his bloodlust. And the Blackjack 2's definitely a sleek upgrade of the series, but does AT&T take this phone to a whole new level? It's our review on Gadget Prawn.
G4 is like that, basically.
Welcome back to Attack of the Show. Your most trustworthy source of vampire detective news is right here.
Yes! Zach Selwyn visited the set of CBS's vampire private detective show Moonlight and got to watch a real-life, honest-to-goodness fake TV gunfight.
No way.
Hey, it's Zach Selwyn here on the set of Moonlight on the Warner Brothers lot here in Burbank, California, where the actors playing the vampires are showing me how the undead are living the good life. A cross between Angel and CSI, Moonlight is the latest supernatural offering to mix good vampires and bad blood. But star Alex O'Loughlin wasn't even sure he wanted the lead role of cursed private eye Mick St. John.
You know, when I got the pitch sheet before I read the pilot, I was like, hasn't somebody done this before? And but it's different.
He's a private investigator, can you tell?
And you don't necessarily get your blood from these victims.
He gets his blood from the blood bank. He's a guy.
That's awesome. So if I go through your Rolodex here, you think I could find maybe your blood dealer?
You find all sorts of things in there.
Rounding out the undead cast are Shannon Sossaman as St. John's ex-wife.
How long have you two worked together?
What's with the interrogation?
And Jason Doring as his upscale, blood-sucking buddy.
What are we shooting today, man?
Somebody comes into my poker game and blows my whole Century City style apartment in two. And they have about 500 wires under the table, and they're just going to blow a table apart and hopefully strategically place me around so I can dodge all the shrapnel.
They're just going to blow this table. Where's your stunt guy?
Dude. There's no stunt guy here, man.
Yeah, that's going to do it for me on the set of Moonlight. We had a great time. Thanks for hanging around. In the meantime, I got to figure out if Nick St. John's got a good blood connection right now because I am starving.
So, I wonder, if you're bitten by a vampire private eye, do you automatically get a degree in criminal justice?
You get a tetanus shot, a lollipop, and an eternal life of damnation, just like everybody else. I don't understand the question.
That depressed me. Maybe some news about the world of MMOs would cheer me up.
Well, coincidentally, you're in luck. Here's Casey. How did you get my address again, Shriner, with the MMO report?
Thanks, guys. This week on the MMO report, Pirates of the Burning Sea is letting players log in early if they pre-order the game. 3 weeks before launch, and they're already planting the seeds for mutiny. Also, the Stargate MMO won't see the light of day until this time next year, so time to stock up on Red Bull and sadness. And finally, WTF Second Life helps population control by freeing up one of your hands while playing. Yeah, that kind of makes me feel dirty just saying it. To watch this week's episode or any of our previous installments, go to g4tv.com/MMO. Adam, Morgan, you're both doing a great job hosting the show today. But, you know, it's funny. I kind of would have thought that maybe, Kevin and Olivia would have asked me first. Whatever. Back to you guys.
Well, that depressed me in a different way. It scared me a bit.
Let's see him here. The only other thing I got for you is our X-Play review of one of the most anticipated first-person shooters ever, Unreal Tournament 3. You want to try that?
All right. Let's try it. Bring me that one to go.
Grab your orb.
This is Unreal Tournament 3. Just what the futuristic Field Medic ordered for the ailing state of PS3 action title. If you're acquainted with this series, you'll find the gameplay here strikingly familiar. For those who aren't, think paintball on another planet, only the paintballs are actually projectiles, and instead of being filled with paint, they're filled with anger and explosives. Like past Unreal titles, Unreal Tournament 3 is, at its core, a multiplayer paradise with various modes tailored to this kind of gameplay, including, of course, Capture the Flag.
Flag returned.
That being said, Unreal also offers a single-player mode, which takes players through a loose storyline involving someone needing armor and weapons to invade someone else and yada yada yada.
Damn, son, you ever shut up?
Whether you're playing alone in the cold, lonely darkness of your room, or playing online with friends in the cold, lonely darkness of your room, Unreal 3 has no shortage of ways for you to get around.
Blue core is secure. Core is vulnerable.
Tanks, light armor vehicles, and airborne attack craft populate many of its levels, including a brutal vehicular-based version of Capture the Flag that's 1 part demolition derby combined with 2 parts standing in the middle of a demolition derby, holding a flag, with weapons for every taste, customizable characters, and old-school multiplayer cred to back it up, Unreal Tournament 3 is ready to set the sights of its hair trigger flat cannon on anyone who wants a little multiplayer mayhem on their PS3. A 4. Round of 5.
Nice. Well, we've said it before, but it never hurts to say it again. Starting Monday, we are going to take X-Play and level up from our all-review format to one that is topical and comprehensive.
Our all-new daily X-Play will cover the entire gaming industry, featuring up-to-the-minute breaking news, game previews, first-ever hands-on demos, and behind-the-scenes developer exclusives.
Do not worry, X-Play will still be there to give you brutally honest game reviews along with so much more. It's better.
Yes, catch the all-new, improved daily X-Play every weeknight starting Monday at 8, only on G4. And check out g4tv.com/Xplay for info and updates.
Now, you at home, do not get off that couch life. I've been there. It's totally overrated.
It's
Television
scary.
is where it's at.
And we've got a lot more coming up right after this. Coming up, with the 2 megapixel camera and GPS support, is the Blackjack 2 the only mobile device you'll ever need? We're checking it out on Gadget Prawn.
CES 08 Live. Get your first look at what you'll be clicking, watching, browsing, and driving in the tech world of tomorrow. Next, only on G4.
Let the bodies hit the floor. New X-Play, Monday night at 8, only on G4.
Welcome back to Attack of the Show, TV's only source for all the stuff you care about. Also, exquisite Spanish desserts. Oh, and the latest gadgets. Let's go over to Morgan Webb.
Thanks, Adam. Now, we're all just about done with our CES hangovers, and now we're finally ready to take a sober look at a great smartphone in Gadget Prawn. Joining us once again is gadget expert and all-around swell guy, Chris Hardwick. What do you got today?
I got less inches than you do. Apparently, I feel a little short and stuff.
I have fabulous footwear on. That's my problem. Cheating a little bit.
I gotta start wearing heels. Well, we have the latest generation, the Samsung Blackjack 2. This is a
Samsung hit gold with the first Blackjack cell phone, and they're ready to get even richer with the aptly named Blackjack 2. It's a little larger than the first, but that means Samsung can cram in more battery life as well as more features, like a 2 megapixel camera and a full QWERTY keyboard. Utilizing Windows Mobile 6 and built-in GPS, the Blackjack 2 will only run you $150 with a contract. Now, the first Blackjack admittedly sold extremely well. Is this a worthy successor?
Well, let's go through a few of the features,
yes,
shall
what features did they add?
Well, first of all, there's a 2 megapixel camera. It has GPS capabilities.
Nice.
You've got your Windows Mobile 6. There's more memory and better performance than the first Blackjack. There's a larger display, little micro SD slot on the side. There is no Wi-Fi, however.
Boo. You know, like having an iPhone, the Wi-Fi capability is actually sort of key for me a little bit because the Edge network's a little bit slow on AT&T, and
the Edge network is a tad on the molasses side.
Yeah, exactly. So it is really, it is a relief to get onto a Wi-Fi network. But on the other hand, if you're just checking your email, it's just text.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, there were, of course, complaints about the battery life with the first phone. They did add a larger battery, but, of course, larger battery means a larger phone.
A little bit larger phone.
Yeah, is it a lot larger?
It is, but, it's not that bad. I mean, it's still only a ½ inch thin, only weighs 4 ounces. It's got a 2.4-inch non-touch screen, so you can't do all your crazy finger motions on it.
But how are you navigating this thing? Oh, yeah.
Well, you navigate it. It's got a jog wheel and a click wheel and the same thing, which are pretty standard now on a lot of the phones that are coming out. It's totally easy to hold for an extended period of time because it has this little finger ridge on it, which was actually my nickname in college. The keyboard is still totally easy to let it go.
I want to hear the story about that one later.
I'll tell you off camera when children aren't watching. Some keyboards have been too squished, like the Palm Central. I wasn't crazy about the keyboard.
That's a lot of the problem is you're like, this would be awesome if I were 4 years old.
Exactly. Or if I were a meerkat texting to another meerkat in a hive. But
so you find the keys are pretty.
Yeah. I find the buttons are nice and flat, and your thumb kind of strikes them really evenly, and I kind of enjoy it.
All right, now this is on AT&T. Why wouldn't you just go out and buy yourself a shiny little iPhone?
Well, the difference is, an iPhone is for Mac-minded people. This is definitely for PC-minded people. Okay, if you're into Windows Mobile, I had a Trio 750 before I got the iPhone. It was Windows Mobile 5. This is Mobile 6. I really kind of enjoy the interface. It's very simple, and it's a little bit sleeker than the Trio as well. So if you're PC-minded, also $150 price tag after you sign your life away is
But you know what? You're always going to be signing your life away. So
you're always in some contract forever, and then you give up your rights as a human. But $400 for the iPhone, $150 for the Blackjack 2.
Also, the Trio was a great phone. I really liked my Trio. It's nice to see that you can get the same functionality in a smaller form factor. I'm gonna go ahead and hold this. Now, is AT&T service any better than the iPhone? Is the same service?
No! Are you kidding? AT&T has like one tower, and it's made out of coat hangers with earthquake putty, and it's on a hobo train car, and it just circles the city. And you're like, oh, I just dropped the call standing in the same place. So
that's why the wireless is so key.
Exactly, but and it also it has 3G. And AT&T doesn't have the best 3G network because it jumps back and forth to Edge for no reason. Again, you're standing in the same place. But I heard on very interesting authority that this might be appearing on another carrier. So keep an eye out for that if you're not crazy about AT&T.
Thanks, Chris. Now remember, for even more of the latest news on computers, games, and tech, subscribe to the AOTS Gadget Prawn podcast, available anytime. Well, thank you so much for tuning into Friday's attack of the show. We hope that you enjoyed it. Of course, we have some news of our own.
Yes, on Monday, you're going to be seeing the brand new X-Blade. By brand new, I mean brand new. We have the most awesome set that we've ever had in the history of this show.
It's from the future.
It is from the future. Though we haven't figured out how to materialize on it yet, but I promise you we will. You're going to see a lot of new things on the show, not just reviews. We're going to have demos on the set. We're going to have interviews with all the biggest people in the gaming industry.
We're going to have up-to-the-minute news, so you don't need to spend all day reading blogs and checking all that news. All you have to do is tune into X-Play once, and we're going to tell you everything that happened.
And Kristen Holt's going to be on there to do some cheats.
Yes.
So, games, say like Call of Duty 4, you're going to get that little edge to get through those tougher moments of the game. It's really, you don't really need to go anywhere else to get anything relevant to video games. So you can spend the rest of your day playing video games.
It's going to be fantastic. All right, thanks for watching Attack the Show, and we hope to see you watching X-Play.
I'll be watching.
You'll be there.
Okay.
60,000 people on their way to CES when the infection hit. I'm a survivor living in the convention center. I'll be at the South Gate entrance every day when the sun is highest in the sky. I am broadcasting on all basic digital cable frequencies in select markets. If you are out there, if anyone is out there, please.
4.
I'm very bored.
Now just sleep.
Eat your Cheetos. I am playing. Don't just push them around. Eat them. CES didn't do this. We did. Or maybe it was Apple. I'm not really sure.